Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Welcome to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms. Our broadcast sponsor,
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Thanks to Pete for holding down the fort last week while we were off in Kentucky. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Mage. Really impressive race. Wow. Didn't race as a 2-year-old. Won an allowance race, blossomed at the right time, and beat everybody else. Wasn't even on my radar, except that I did get an email while I was in Kentucky from Showcase Properties from Valerie to say that this horse was an Ocala grad after all, from Becky Thomas at Sequel, and we did not have it originally as an Ocala Connect. We didn't know about it. So congrats to all connections. We're going to have a really great interview, kind of impromptu and unplanned, with one of the co-owners of this horse, who's owned by 391 people.
Wow. And
one of the main co-owners is Ramiro Restrepo, who actually walked past me in Wagner's Pharmacy in the restaurant with a Mage hat on the day before the Derby, and I went, oh, look, Mage. There were a couple of signs, but anyway, I missed them, and my betting career is over. But congrats, and thank you to the sponsors of our special Derby coverage that we aired. We're very grateful to Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care for making that possible, and the other sponsors. We had, of course, Equus Television, who aired and edited for us all weekend long, and also Showcase Properties, Seminole Feed, and Larson Hay. And I may as well throw in thank you so much to beautiful Betsy Bavacqua, who put up with me and my shenanigans all weekend long. She got to meet famous Harley, and look at her in her beautiful dress and hat. What a gorge. She was quite beautiful for the races. But she got to meet Harley, and she laughed. She goes, Harley makes everybody look skinny. But Betsy, you don't need any help with that. You're slim and you look absolutely beautiful. But there she is with Michael Bo Yates. Really funny connection there. He actually will be on the show later with an interview. We chatted to him 10 minutes before Darth Vader went up for the race. And as soon as I saw him, I turned the corner. I said, I know you. And he's like, from Tag Shack. And Betsy knows him because he gets all his hay in Ocala and drives it all the way to Miami.
Wow, Larson Hay going to Miami.
Yes. So actually, this horse, Darth Vader, has been training on the finest hay in the world, I might add. So that was a really cool connect there with him. So it was so funny because when I told her I was looking for Michael Bo Yates's barn, she's like, "Is he known as Bo Yates?" And I said, "Well, I think so." And she goes, "That might be our Bo Yates." And I said, well, let's go and find out. So we did, which was really cool.
Very cool.
So Pete's going to talk a little Derby to me in a minute. He's got a few questions for me.
Not dirty, Derby.
Derby. But I want to mention Cody's Wish. For those of you who've been following Cody's Wish, back 2 3 years ago maybe, the parents of a little boy called Cody, I say little, he was about 14 or 15 then, wanted to do something special for him because he was born with Hirschhorn syndrome. This is Cody's Wish here on the day after the race, having a little lovins. Really cool horse, really neat horse. But this little boy was about 14, and Make-A-Wish came in to do something for him because they did not think he was going to be with us much longer. And his wish was to go to Keeneland and meet some racehorses. So they took him to Keeneland, and then Gainsborough Farm in Kentucky offered to have him and his family come to the farm. And they brought the horses out, and when they did, Cody's Wish, who was unnamed at the time, came out with those horses. And this horse put his head, and they have a video of it, in Cody's lap in the wheelchair. And Cody was born with this Hirschhorn syndrome where he can't talk. He has to type everything into an iPad, and then the voice comes out with what he is saying. And that's how he communicates. And he can't walk. He's in a wheelchair. And he has followed all of Cody's Wish's races. He was at the Breeders' Cup. And during the race, just before the race or just after the race, I'm not sure which, Cody's Wish saw Cody and actually went up to him and put his head in the little boy's, the young man's wheelchair. The young man's 17 now, and has apparently, since he met this horse, he's just had this desire and will to continue to be here with his family. And it's changed his life, and he's excited about every single race. And Cody's Wish saw Cody, went out and ran his race, won by 4 3/4 lengths. And everybody said he did it for Cody, and there wasn't a dry eye in the place.
Okay, let's move on.
By the way, yeah. So, and then his dad, during an interview, said Cody's Wish gave Cody the will to go on and live, and gave Cody the legs that he never had to run on. So, on that note, let's stop crying, shall we? It's like the coolest story in racing. So, I just wanted to share that with you. And I wanted to go meet him at Bill Mott's barn. So, that worked out really well. I got to go meet him and say well done to him. While we're on sad topics, we may as well stay on a sad topic. Glad about one thing, though. Magic always lights up everything. Bless her heart, the young lady that died in a rotational fall last week. We talked about her. They actually had a celebration of life for her at World Equestrian Centre, and they asked Magic to come and attend as a special guest and to be a comfort to the family. And Magic is a comfort, so bless her. And these photos were taken by Gentle Carousel miniature therapy horses, and Magic's just, she knows, you know. She just knows. She's just magic. She's amazing. So thank you very much to Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses, a 501c3 who do so much for our community and were there for that special celebration of life. So the Derby was, oh wow, it was a lot. It was ups and downs. We went, you know, of course, I mentioned last week we went to the Land Rover 3-day event. We were able to see a bunch of our CEP partners that we love.
Saw Philip.
For Philip, yes, and with Kirsten, that was wonderful. And Betsy and Georgia had a beautiful reunion, and we got to meet all sorts of new people and connect with so many amazing people. So that was great. And then we went on to the Derby, and of course the Derby was surrounded by some tragedies throughout that week, which, you know, our hearts are absolutely break for anybody and for the horses anytime there's any incident. And I'm not saying that this, believe me, this is where we need the little disclaimer running along the bottom of the screen. I am not by any means discounting any of that or saying it's not a big deal, but statistically more horses die in paddock accidents than they do at the racetrack. And as hard as that might be to believe, it's the absolute facts. If you look up the statistics, more horses running around in a field fall in a hole or take a bad step and snap a leg than ever do at the racetrack. But we don't centre that. We focus on, of course, the world stage, which is the Kentucky Derby. And I know that Churchill Downs does everything they can, within their power at least, to keep horses safe, and we always pray for every horse to have a safe trip, and we don't like any kind of breakdowns. We don't want to hear about it. It's very upsetting. The turf course seemed to be causing a problem, and I know that that's being looked into to figure out why and what's going on. The two mysterious deaths from the trainer Safi Joseph, Churchill Downs, insisted, of course, by state law that there are necropsies done. Nothing was found on either necropsy, and nothing was found on any blood work. That doesn't mean there wasn't foul play on the trainer's part or even on an outside entity, and we don't know that. So, of course, that's still up for further investigation. However, Churchill Downs immediately suspended that trainer and did not allow him to run his Derby horse or to run in any other races in the utmost of precautions. So hats off to them for doing that, because even though Saffie Joseph may be completely innocent of anything, we like to see that everything is taken care of. I got the wrap-up sign, so we have to go to break. And Dr. Cayot will be with us talking about colic surgery, so stay with us. This portion of the show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference. Horseman, are you tired of technology that doesn't fit your way of life? Lip Chip, built by horsemen for horsemen, is ready to revolutionize your world. The answer is in the HoofLink system. Simply implant, scan, and unlock your horse's health information. From driving to Grand Prix jumping, all horses, all breeds, and all disciplines. The future is in the integrity and transparency of all horse sports and in the safety of our horses. The future is here, and the future is Lip Chip. Experience the bluegrass. Step into the Elwood Hotel and Suites, situated in the heart of Lexington. Elwood is a unique yet familiar place, your home base to explore, minutes from the University of Kentucky and the best distilleries on the Bourbon Trail. Only a short drive from horse country and from the iconic Keeneland racetrack. Full of warm, natural light, Elwood rooms are inviting, a space to retreat, rewind and relax. From spacious rooms to extended stay suites. Each room is unique, just like you. Don't miss a beat in your fitness routine either, and your furry friend is welcome too. Elwood has cozy beds, yummy treats, and snuggles too. Elwood is more than a landing place. It's a tribute to a contemporary southern lifestyle, a delicious place to refuel and to launch your Lexington adventure. Book your stay at theelwoodhotel.com and like them on Facebook now. Settle in at Elwood and begin generating memories in the heart of the bluegrass. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show here at Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care with Dr. Adam Cayot. And we are going to talk a little bit about when colic is necessary, when colic surgery is necessary, and the different procedures and kind of the potential of a good outcome with that. Dr. Cayot, talk to us a little bit about colic and when it happens, when it gets to the point that surgery is necessary, the horse has to come to the clinic. some of those potential procedure and prognosis outcome, etc.
So, as an ambulatory practitioner, when we go out and see a colic, which is obviously a very common thing that we deal with, the number one thing that I do to determine does this horse need to go into a referral facility or not is response to pain management. So typically we give them non-steroidal Banamine typically and sedate them, and we like to see how long it takes for that to take effect. Obviously, it takes effect. It takes about, if you give it intravenously, it takes effect in probably about 20 minutes or so. But once it starts taking effect, how long does that last? The number one referral indicator is response to pain management. If you sedate them and they're comfortable pretty much after that the rest of the day, then that is not an indicator that horse probably needs to go in for referral. If that horse, you sedate them, you treat them, and then all of a sudden a half hour later, an hour later, the horse is painful again, and depending on the level of pain, some of them could be very painful, where they're laying down, rolling, they can't stand up. Those are obviously situations that would warrant a referral. So that's number one. Once they get to the hospital, they can do some further diagnostics that are a little bit easier than in the field, like ultrasound in their intestines to see if they have see if they have a intussusception or if they have a nephrosplenic entrapment or different things like that they can see that way. Again, at the hospital, same thing. Does this horse need to go on the surgery table? Response to pain management. If they're able to sedate the horse and the horse stays comfortable for an extended period of time, and we're talking several hours, then that's probably not a surgery situation acutely. If that continues for a day or so, then you're going to say, well, hey, we need to open this horse up and find out what's going on. Obviously, there's different things, when you get in there. If it's just an impaction, those surgeries are pretty successful. You open it up, you take, down here we go to sand impaction or something like that. Take the sand out, stitch the intestine back up, and you're good to go. The thing that gets a little worrisome are, where the bowel's been twisted and it's dead because it's lost blood supply, and then you have to reattach the bowel. So you cut out the dead part and then you reattach the bowel back together.
How big of a section could that be?
That's a good question. I mean, horses have 30-some feet. I don't remember exactly how many feet.
It's a lot.
They have a lot of feet of intestine. Certainly, several feet can be taken out. I would say if you're getting upwards of close to 10, it's probably not a good situation at all.
But it could be like
it could be a lot
quite a bit.
more. Obviously,
wow.
If that's the case, then you're probably going to recommend euthanasia at that point, because colic surgery, and when you have a resection is what it's called, it's hard on them. They'll typically lose weight, and obviously the older the horse is, the more difficult it is for them to recover. They'll lose weight for a while. It's obviously a stressful situation. So the horse has to be, in my mind, kind of in the sweet window of age and how things are going to go after. Obviously, younger ones that have surgery and have to have a resection, the prognosis is much better than the older ones that may have to have one. Certainly, it's great. It's greater than 50% survival, and with a resection. Certainly, with impaction or nephrosplenic entrapment, where they just have to take the intestine back out from where it's up. Those are very high probability of success. So, colic surgery is always a little scary. Certainly, you never know a lot of times what you're going to find
right
until you get in there, and we can help a lot. So you just got to be, smart. Obviously, it's an expensive endeavor, and there's a lot of things to consider when saying yes, let's do surgery or not do surgery for a colic patient.
And then for a ruptured intestine, there is.
So ruptured intestine is just about as bleak as it can get. Horses do not do well with peritonitis and infection in the peritoneum. That's the area where the guts hang out. They don't do well at all. Certainly, there are cases of horses that have had peritonitis and recovered. That's not many. You know, the majority of horses will pass when they get peritonitis because it's a bad thing. So if you get a rupture,
And there isn't a surgical option.
It's not really a surgical option at that point. No, that's pretty much the end point as far as that goes.
They become septic after it.
They become septic. They're sick as dogs. Yeah, and then organs start shutting down, and they die. So, pretty much ruptures and those sorts of things when your horse is ruptured. That's unfortunately that's the end of the road. And a lot of times it can happen and you don't know it. It can happen, especially in older horses, just out of the blue. I've had it happen one time. It was on a young horse. She got kicked in the abdomen by one of her field mates, ruptured. So those are always dramatic and sad stories. But hopefully you get treated early enough, you can help prevent those sorts of things from happening.
And with age, naturally, I'm sure the intestine becomes a lot weaker.
Absolutely. Yeah, just like anything, as the horse ages, tissues aren't as good as they used to be, So that's more of a concern. And a lot of times, unfortunately, those older horses, they tend to be very stoic a lot of times. So you may not know that they're in distress because they're just quiet and they're stoic
and then suddenly things can get bad.
All of a sudden, you look at them and their gums are purple and they're toxic, and that's the end of the line.
Very good. Thank you.
You bet.
Dr. Adam Cayot with Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show. Dr. Cayot always does such a great job. Colic surgery. Ooh. Hopefully you never need it. So, since Pete's been talking Derby to me, I have a gift for him for holding down the fort for me last week. And it's a really nice 149 glass. And I love these because on the back it has all of the horses that have won the Derby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
That's nice.
So that way you can look and see,
I have to get my glasses.
I know, right? I mean, you do. It's really difficult. This is why we have American Pharoah up here too, by the way, because American Pharoah was the first horse to win the Triple Crown in 37 years. And it'll be interesting to see if we're going to have another Triple Crown winner this year. Of course, Justify did not run at 2 and won a lower grade allowance race and then won the Kentucky Derby and won the Triple Crown. So, it's entirely possible that this horse, Mage, could do the same thing. So we'll wait and see whether or not we're going to have a Triple Crown winner again, right? Woo-hoo. Coming back after this, we have a really impromptu chance to chat to one of the owners of Mage right after winning the Derby. So we hope you enjoy it. This portion of the show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. At Crystal Cryo, you can relax and enjoy a non-invasive cryo skin facial. Reduce fine lines and wrinkles and tighten the skin. Improve texture and tone. Stimulate collagen production. Reduce inflammation and acne. And increase blood flow to the skin, resulting in a more youthful, radiant appearance. And it all takes only about 30 minutes. Boost your confidence now and set up a consultation. Find Crystal Cryo at crystalcryo.net or on social media. Experience the ultimate in relaxation and rejuvenation. Pamper and revitalize your body, mind, and spirit at Crystal Cryo.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
You have a grade 1 status, a Kentucky Derby. It's part of your dream. It's part of your process. When you draft a player, you want to draft a Hall of Famer, a difference maker for your organization. You'd be lying, kidding to yourself, and say, "Oh, of course, I knew it." But we thought he was a special horse. I mean, we went over budget just because we had a gut feeling amongst ourselves to go for it. So,
at that point, you didn't know who I was going to end up owning. You had not put together the partnerships when you bought it.
No, just Gustavo and myself.
Yeah. And so, do you know all the different ownership entities, or were some of them brought in other people, or how did it work?
Myself. 3 years ago, Gustavo Sr., who's been wanting to raise his profile, he's come over here from Venezuela, and he's always had a small, boutique 30-horse, 25-horse stable, and it has achieved grade 1 wins. He's achieved grade 1 placings in the Travers and Florida Derby, and yet still has not broken through to attract more clients. Myself, competing as a lower-level owner, but at the same time being a bloodstock agent, wanting to raise my profile to attract more clients to allow me to buy more racehorses of higher quality. We decided to join forces, and we've been going to the sales domestically and internationally, and trying to get horses to compete and see if that creates a little buzz. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing how sometimes these types of plans come together and work out.
What's your biggest success before yesterday?
So there is the concept of pin hooking, which
you
buy and resell horses. I bought a yearling September of 2018 for $160,000, and then the following spring in March of 2019 he sold for $850,000, and amazingly by November of that year that horse ended up winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. His name was Structor.
Yeah.
And
sure,
that kind of within racing circles gave me a little bit of credibility, and Jeff Giroux, Don Rachel, and Chad Brown were amazing to let me be a part of the ride by inviting me, paddock pass for the Breeders' Cup, and Chad let me to the barn and give me little updates about the horses he was coming along in his career. And then when he retired, I was blessed for the opportunity by Jeff, Chad, and Don to sell him to Japan, or the opportunity to sell him as a stallion prospect, and I was able to sell him to Japan. So that created a little bit of waves, and it gives you the confidence that, and I bought it with my partner Joe Pickerel out of Ocala. It gives us the confidence to say we're looking at something and you're identifying talent. And that was my
You're saying in the press conference that you wanted, you're looking for something to bring more attention to your bloodstock work and to Gustavo's training ability. Put in perspective, you win the greatest race in America. That's a good way to get your name on the
jump start.
Yeah.
It's just a testament to everyone's work, Gustavo, and Junior's a young kid, good-looking guy in his early 30s. He could be out partying, chasing girls, having a blast. Instead, the guy is living in the barn 22 hours a day. I mean, when you're and they were a successful family, economically they're well off. Junior could be a playboy having a great time, and instead he's living in the barn. This is a dream for everyone.
It's a labor of love, isn't it? I mean, we see everybody up at 3 in the morning at the barn at the crack of dawn and long days, and it's truly a labor of love. We've seen that a lot.
You know, anyone you lose way more than you win. The lows are knockout blows, and the victories. Yeah. I mean, the victories is what carries you to the next step, and you surround yourself with amazing people, because it's so easy to say, oh, I was at the sale and I picked them out and now I'm, the beauty queen of the moment. But Moises, JJ Legato rides in the morning while we've been here. Brian, who's been helping us out. Tina over there, who I tease so much, but she's been helping us here in Kentucky so much last year during the year, part of our barn. They're just as important from top to bottom, the team that we've put together, the support from everyone when it comes together, like those comics like Voltron or Power Rangers, and you guys all come together and create a special thing. It's bananas.
Ramiro, what's just a real quick snapshot on you? How old are you, and where'd you grow up, and how'd you get into this?
Sure, I'm a 5th generation horseman. My grandpa came here in the late 60s, 68, from Colombia when the racetracks there closed. Okay. He was first he started as a jockey in 1930, all the way through his passing in 1999. He always said, I was born on the track, I'm going to die on the track. He put in 60 years at NYRA, working in every capacity.
Okay, all right.
From hot walker to groom to foreman to assistant trainer to being an owner. My 2 uncles trained at NYRA and Finger Lakes for probably as old as the 8th pole over there, and with super small strings of a handful of horses I was born into. Luckily, my mother was the youngest of that group, so when she went to college here, met my father, got us into horse ownership, so I was lucky to kind of experience another aspect of the business of being the setup of horse owners. We never achieved anything. We maybe ran in a couple graded stakes races and we won some allowances, but we never made it. But the dedication to the sport is the other side of the coin. You give your life to this. My family, it's the time spent, the hours committed to the horse. People in some capacities live paycheck to paycheck in their own professional careers, and the horses for us, you don't even know how many times a victory or a placing, that paycheck of that purse bailed you out or brought you out through a special moment in time. And the big races get the glamour and the glitz, but what the horses do for people is unbelievable. And I got to experience that from a very young age. So 44 years old. I've been living in Miami since I was 5.
Okay.
4 or 5 years old. Grew up Calder, Hialeah, Gulfstream. Those are my playgrounds. Even the New York tracks, when I go visit my dad, my parents split up, so when I go visit my dad, Saratoga every summer, I think I've missed 3 Saratogas in my life. Belmont, my earliest memory, like Caveat, 83, Belmont, Swill, 84, Chief's Crown, John Henry, Ferdinand. I mean, those were my cartoons. So for me, it's like a reality that it's like a dream and a fantasy becomes reality, that you were able to make a career out of this, and that you can think of all these derby, you can think of all these derby races, and how you're going to say that I'm going to go to the museum or something and see my name on the thing. It's like, what?
You're in.
Yeah,
it's like, careful what you wish for, right?
It's insane.
I mean, there's wild streets, right?
So, since I'm working for the Maryland Jockey Club the next 2 weeks, what about the Preakness? Did y'all discuss that last night?
No. Look. I mean, I have to start bringing out the cliche book, right?
I know.
No, but look, in all sincerity, Gustavo and Senior, in the end, this is their show. Right. We're all passengers. Mage and Gustavo and Senior and Junior, they're gonna go over the horse. The horse he's taking us from race to race. We never pushed them or forced him to do anything that he didn't want to do. We put the horse before us.
I mean, is it probably a fair characterization? If the horse is doing
100%.
well,
Yeah.
he'll go on to
Yeah,
Baltimore.
I mean,
Unless there's a reason not to go, he'll go.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Right, another question.
Well, I was gonna ask, I mean, and briefly, I know you guys went over it a little bit last night, but why he didn't race it too?
No, it was just this timing on the calendar. He was a May purchase at the 2-year-old sale. We always give the horses a month and a half, 2 months off just to power up after the 2-year-old sale, which is, it's just like the NFL Combine.
Right.
It's quite the process. We always give him a little time to power up. And Gustavo's not a guy who says, my horses have to run at Saratoga or, any high-profile 2-year race. We'll just let it happen.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that can talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now, here's your host,
Pretty.
Louisa Barton! She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Hey there, horsemen. Are you tired of technology that doesn't fit your way of life? Lip Chip is ready to revolutionize your barn. Built by horsemen, for horsemen. Lip Chip knows how you ride. If you're tired of carrying around paperwork, dealing with long trailer lines, and juggling all your horse's details while trying to compete, then the answer is the HoofLink system. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Each scan reveals everything you need to work, compete, and to protect your horses. View current health paperwork, pre-register for your next event, and even check in on your horse's health. Horsemen, let's keep our horses safe and make our lives at the barn a little easier. The future is here, and the future is Lip Chip. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
He could have been ready to run by, end of October, early November. He was fit enough to run, but the weather here in Kentucky was starting to get rainy and damp, and the track, a lot of off tracks, and for your first start you want to try to have the conditions as ideal as possible, especially when you're two. And Miami is home for all of us, but we do split the racing calendar between Kentucky and Miami. So just at that border, we were like, maybe it's time just to go home. We're winter birds, let's just go back home and hit the reset button. It's not like we're in a rush for anything anyway. So there was never a setback with the physical ailments. There was never a problem. It was just a timing thing. And obviously the condition books for Gulfstream, we always know there's a big maiden special on Pegasus Day. Right. And Gustavo Sr. has a flair for big days. He loves to participate on big days. And he circled that race on the calendar, and You know.
Now that you're past the Derby successfully, the fact that he is lightly raced, does it start playing in your favor? I mean, he's fresh. I mean, he's not over the top. I mean, as far as looking to.
Yeah, I mean, from day one, he wasn't worked. He didn't have the amount of stressful works or pressure put on him in the mornings, even for his debut. So the races get him into fitness. There's always like the joke that, oh, this was a first-time starter, but he's probably run 20 times in the morning already in company and in bullet works and more strenuous works, and he's been brought along. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice that the races are getting him more and more fit. And, you know, Gustavo, for the 1.25 mile, mile 3/16, mile and a half races, it's his strength as a trainer. So it's kind of all playing along.
You're clearly, and I love it, and I think everyone does, to see how much emotion there is. And for our listeners, especially who are horse lovers before anything else, it would be lovely just to hear like about the love of the horse, you know, the personality of the horse, and how he obviously is, you know, he comes first, and that's most important. And we can see that. We love that.
Oh, thank you. I mean, they're the most noble servants on the planet, man. The horses give you everything they got. And this boy has changed our lives overnight. So how much more thankful could you be?
I know, right? Yeah. It's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
He's not a mean horse. He's not an aggressive horse, but he's not a puppy, pet me, love me guy either. You give him some peppermints, and he likes the girls a little more. He might bend here, but he's relatively a serious guy, and just into himself and takes care of himself. And
I mean, do you think about that? I mean, justify how rare it is for a horse to win in modern times. Justifies only one in their fourth career start, and you know the whole thing with the unraced 2-year-olds. But you know the rare company that he is in, beyond being just a Derby winner. I mean, just how the statistics he got to.
I mean, it's just these types of milestones are just things that you're just digesting as the information comes to you. What are you gonna say? Like, it's bananas. We're all here just like we did it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still trying to, like, there's a I have to watch this replay every time, and he wins every race. You know? he never does not win. So it's just the coolest feeling. And these types of facts, you can just sit back and, you know, you dream of those being in the pantheon of those horses, and you're like, it happened. But you know, nothing can be. I cannot stress enough the importance of the barn, Gustavo Senior and Junior, and everyone down. Even Renee, who takes care of him back home. Moises, who's like our lead barn groom for the big days he travels. He was with Bill Mott for many years. Even Ralph Nix, was a trainer on a Gulf show that worked for Bill for many years, called me and said, please, Candido and Moises, who's over here, send them my love, send them my thanks. Those are some top guys. JJ Delgado, who gets on him every morning. Gustavo Senior and Junior, who lay it, you know, just lay it down and giving their everything for this stuff. Those are the guys that, you know, I just love the cameras and can express myself, and my English was great. Thankfully, I was born here. I'm blessed to have a lot of amazing relationships. I do have I do a little bit of everything, but I have a role with the sales company facing Tipton, which is where we ended up buying the horse at. And I have a lot of lovely relationships for here and all over the world. I've been blessed to do business in the bloodstock capacity in 12 countries. So you have a network, Rolodex or whatever, of a lot of people from a lot of different places, and when you want to create special things, you can reach out to a lot of interesting people. And Sam Hersberg of Sterling Racing, he's from Miami, but now he lives in Southern Cal, goes back and forth. He's in real estate. He's a real estate maven over there, and he jumped in right away. He had a Derby starter 10 years ago, unfortunately. Had a morning, the day before the race, had a morning setback that had to scratch as well. So he's been chasing the Derby. The horse is called Black Onyx. He's been chasing the Derby dream. Faith is another reason why we do this. You know, the dream, the faith, the hope. and Chase and Sam and Brian jumped in, and you know, they're just as important to the equation, because this is it's literally those maps, you know, you have to put all those little pieces of the puzzle together for the team to come through, and it's such a wide, diverse cast of characters in this barn, and we all come together for this moment, and the horse is the crown jewel of everything. With Fasig-Tipton, my role specifically is the South American, Latin American, Caribbean market, and Gulfstream with Ocala. So you really start developing relationships with the local horsemen there. And Gustavo, when he won the test with Paola Queen, we really had, the relationship started, just in a friendly terms, and how much relationships just through, conversations and just small talk, and that continues where, might grab a lunch, and, you just, anytime you develop a relationship. And 3 years ago, we were at a horse sale, and we sat down, for lunch, and we kind of both looked at each other and saw a lot of things in what we wanted to achieve and how we wanted to forward ourselves in our careers and our paths. And we came to a working relationship, an agreement to say, hey, let's join forces and see where this can go, and 3 years later, here we are. This guy.
Did you wake up and pinch yourself this morning?
I don't know. I don't know if I am awake or if I'm still dreaming. We're just here, just watching this and taking it all in. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Congratulations. Thank you for your time so much. We really appreciate it.
I don't even know where anything is. The fact that I'm here, and as much as I love him, because he's the big dog, that's my girlfriend. I love her. So. The big dog.
We were watching.
We got caught.
We got caught watching. That was it was an impromptu. Media was due at 9. We were there at 7:30, and
Luisa got her interview.
We just got blessed with the impromptu of hearing from Ramiro, really right from his heart, and he shared with us the love of the horse, and how the horse matters, and how every team member matters, and how the mints matter, and how he loves the media and wants to share these stories. So,
and I heard stories from you that you set him up for when the big news people came in. He was actually throwing your lines.
Labor of love.
Yep.
But it really is, and if you've been in the backside of the track ever and spent some time with the grooms and the riders, you really see the heart behind all of it, and there's a lot of love there. I'm going to tell you, for the skepticals, there's a lot of love. So speaking of a lot of love, got to see my old friend Bo Yates, was a customer of mine, and Ocala's Mark Casse, and even though they didn't win the race, both of them are the real deal. So we're going to share those with you next. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equine, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. Having an air conditioner that works well in Florida is a must. Experience peace of mind by working with Florida HVAC Services, a family-owned and operated company taking pride in always putting their customers first, providing air conditioner repair, installation, and maintenance services on all makes and models. For those suffering from allergies or asthma, air quality testing is recommended, and hospital-grade air filters are available. Ask about a pure air filtration system today. Check them out at flhvacservices.com or like them on Facebook. Florida HVAC Services, serving all of North Central Florida with honesty, integrity, and the highest value of workmanship, and that's 100% guaranteed.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equine with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equine came to life. Equine, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
So Mark Casse had Wonder Wheel, who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, and we thought she was going to win the Oaks. She was the favourite. She didn't, but she ran a heck of a race, and she's a heck of a horse. So here's our little chance to chat to Hall of Famer Mark Casse before the race. Show and Equus Television with Ocala's Mark Casse. We definitely like to claim him as ours for a number of reasons, but because he's always a star and always has some of the most incredible horses. Does an amazing job training them. Wonder Wheel, of course, who we followed at the Breeders' Cup, Juvenile Fillies winner last year, here at the Oaks, now getting pretty excited as tomorrow's big day. Mark, thank you for spending a few minutes with us. I know you're very busy. We always appreciate it.
Oh, always love talking to you.
Tell us a little bit about how she's doing.
She's doing really well. I couldn't be more pleased. I thought she trained really good this morning. Everybody's asking me what I'm thinking, and I said this is the best way I can tell you. So Tina, my wife, was showing me her derby dress with her hat and her Oaks dress, and her derby dress was much fancier than her Oaks dress. And I said, you might want to wear your derby dress on it.
That's really good advice.
Yes.
Hey, maybe I should rethink mine. So
training
really well.
I'm very happy, with the way she's doing. So I don't know if you know, but Norman, my son, has one in there too. So it's going to be interesting. It's a dream come true.
I actually ran into him this morning and got a quick hug.
Oh, good.
I hadn't seen him for a while.
Good.
So you're running against each other?
We are. He's 4 and I'm 5, or vice versa. But yeah, it's a dream come true, And they were asking me, if it comes to the wire, if it's a nose, who do you want to win? And I said, well, I want a dead heat. But if we win, it would be a great. Team Cassie would be very excited, but if Norman wins, I think it will be extremely emotional for him. So I'm very proud of him. So we'll see.
It's generations, isn't it? It's generations.
And
with your dad and
right, and then I've got my grandson's gonna. He told me, he goes, Grandpa, if you win, I could be famous because he's coming. And I said, okay. So he's gonna walk over with us, and I'll make sure he gets some. He thinks if he's on TV, he's famous, so we're going to let him get a little TV.
What's his name? How old
Landon.
is he?
He's 10, I believe. 10 or 11.
What a great experience.
Yeah, so he's coming. They live here in Louisville, so.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah.
That's really, oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about post position. Not a bad spot to be in there?
No, it's a good spot. The post position, going a mile and an eighth here at Churchill is very important. Outside, you're at a big disadvantage. Our biggest deal, 4-5 is it's just you got to have a little luck. Any post position is not good if you break that. So we need to break good, and we're going to try to. My plan and hopes is to be somewhere mid-pack, not be so aggressive early. We were a little more aggressive with her last time than I think she wants to be. So we have a new pilot, Joel Rosario, pretty good. Won the Belmont for us, so we're excited.
Should be. Now, after the Breeders' Cup, she came back to Ocala for a little bit, got a nice rest.
You visited her.
I did. Loved that visit. It was fantastic. She's had a rest, got back into training and racing. She's really progressed. How do you think she's matured since the juvenile races to now? She's definitely grown. I just looked at her and said, wow.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
She's much bigger and stronger.
We just watched the vet check her over and jog her, and wow, I was like, oh.
Yeah, so she's bigger and stronger. And she really, looking at the race, I think she just needs to run a little better than she did in the Breeders' Cup, and that would put her right there. So everything since the Breeders' Cup, this tomorrow is what we've trained and planned for. So we'll see whether we get it right or not.
I love it. Wonderful Wonder Wheel and wonderful Ocala's Mark Casse. We always love to talk to him. Hall of Fame trainer, Canada and the USA. Can't think of anybody who deserves it more. Love Mark Casse. For the Horse Talk Show, Louisa Barton at Churchill Downs. And now we have Bo Yates, a die-hard Larson Hay customer, and Darth Vader was fed plenty of Larson Hay and got strong and ran a great race and ran a 5th in the Kentucky Oaks, making her the 5th best female horse in the world.
Female horse.
Yes, had to add that in there. So here's Bo. Louisa Barton here with Michael Yates at Churchill Downs, and we are at the barn of Darth Vader. She's the Florida bred. We're very excited about her. She started her training with Gail Woods in Ocala. We love Gail Woods and what her and her team do with horses, and I don't think could be in better hands right now here than with Michael and his team at Churchill. Just a few minutes before they take off for their big exciting race in the Oaks today. I'm going to have Michael just give us a quick rundown of how she's doing. Michael, share with us, or Bo as you're known, share with us just a little bit about how she's been training here and how well she's settled in. She seems very nice and relaxed right now.
She's been doing really well. She shipped up from Gulfstream, and we did all of her heavy work down there, and shipped up like 9 days before the race. And she's gone out and galloped with good energy every day, and she's eating good, doing well. We're excited to go give it a whirl.
So Wonder Wheel, tough competition, right?
All of them.
They are the best fillies in the country, that's absolutely for sure. She seems very nice and calm, and like she has a great demeanor, very happy, settled in. Is that her normal personality?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. She gets a little high-strung sometimes, but she keeps herself composed. She has to work at composing herself, but I've been really happy with her.
Now there's some nice hay here behind us. Got to get a quick shout out here for what you feed.
Well, and when I'm in Florida, I feed Larson Hay.
Now you're down south a lot in the Miami area. How do you get Larson Hay down there?
Actually, I buy the hay in Ocala, and I have a farm, Shady Brook Farm in Ocala, and a year-round operation at Gulfstream, and I haul my own hay from Larson down there about every 2.5 weeks. I'm going anyways, so
and you're particular, right?
I am a little particular, so I load the hay up, and that way we have good, consistent hay all the time.
That's incredible. Well, listen, I don't want to keep you. I know you got to go, but you got important things to do. But we're excited to have a Florida bred in the Oaks. We're excited to have a friend in the Oaks. We're excited to have a grad from Gail Woods as well. That's all good as well. So thank you so much for taking this time with us.
Thank you so much.
Here with Michael Bo Yates, and we are at Churchill Downs with Darth Vader right behind us. And we're very excited for this Florida bred. She's a heck of a horse, and you know what? She's a champion and a winner to be in this race, regardless of what happens. But we'd like to see her in the winner's circle. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and Equus Television. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equine, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
This show is brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Hello. Where are we?
Hello.
Hello.
We're back.
There we are.
There we are.
Final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, brought to you by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Guess what time it is? It's time for Pete's Horsemanship Tip of the Week.
Dancin Pete's Tip of the Week, brought to you by Complementary Horsemanship.
I'm really good.
All right. My tip of the week is lightness versus softness. So a lot of people talk about lightness. Lightness is external. Softness is internal. So I got this from Mark Rashid, a famous horseman. He says that if you go do things light with your horse, that's the external part. But inside yourself, you're going, this horse better go, or I'm going to do this, and you're mad at him, then you're not soft inside. Or if you're not very light and you're hard on him, going fast and doing stuff like that, but inside you're going, oh, I love him and he can take his time and he doesn't have to do it. It's okay, I can, all that, you're soft inside. So you should be light and soft when you're doing your horses. So light with your hands or your legs, and then soft, meaning, okay, let me help you instead of let me get your, going right there. So you want to be soft and light.
Makes sense. Horses feel everything you feel.
Yes, ma'am.
So even if you have a bad day or bad attitude, they pick up on that. So very important, good tip of the week. Now, just because we want you to do well with your horses, we also want you to be healthy. So we have a tip of the week from Reboot Self-Care Center. Here's Fabian.
Hi, I'm Fabian Ronick with Reboot Self-Care Center, and here's your tip of the day. If you have those late night cravings for sugar and you know you're going to have a snack that's probably not the best for you, what you can do is have 6 to 8 ounces of water, drink it all down at once, and then have a handful of nuts. And if within 10 minutes you still crave the sugar, then I would be surprised. So your body's asking for the sugar for a reason. So when you have a good fat that you put in instead, as that's going to help that curve that craving and give your body what's asking for, because most likely it's missing something. That's why you have that sugar craving. So that's a good tip for you, is a glass of water and a handful of nuts or a scoop of peanut butter, for example, and see if you can curve that craving.
Pete said, so how do I eat my ice cream?
If I'm taking nuts and drinking water for sugar.
Isaac, our show producer and editor, says he's done it and it works. So the word of Fabian is spreading fast and effective. So thank you. Reboot Self-Care
Can we eat ice cream with it?
Pete and the ice cream. Whew. So, speaking of miracles, I've got a miracle to share with you. While I was away at the Kentucky Derby, my family, four-legged family, stayed with the Ocala Dog Ranch and Neil and Claire, and they worked with them and worked with Place, and very interestingly enough, it kind of makes sense. Lucy works for food, Aslan works for love. So interesting, different personalities. You know, old chubby mama here, who loves food. Aslan just wants to be told good boy. But this video is Claire walking them together for the first time and not being like pulled all over the place and yanked around, and I was really impressed with this. This is the first walk together, and that's what I struggle with. I can actually walk them separately just fine. Not just fine, but not bad. And I've come a long way walking them individually, with them listening, stopping, staying, sitting, and all of that. And that's actually been worked very well with repetition and consistency. But together, they're wild. So seeing this is just amazing. Claire walking both of them, and they're very calm. But the overwhelming miracle is, of course, they were very excited to see me when I picked them up, naturally, because they hadn't seen me for over a week. But when I got home, they waited in the truck for me to give them permission to unload.
Woohoo!
They did not pull me up the pathway. When they started to get a little bit excited as we got closer to the house, and I told them to sit and stay, and they did, patiently. When I got to the front door, I told them to sit and stay, and they did patiently. They didn't bolt in the door. They didn't pull me or yank me. So I'm in training too, but I just want to say thank you to Neil and Claire and to Ocala Dog Ranch. And if you have a dog that you need to board when you're away, they're not going to get more love. I mean, I get photos and videos, and Neil tells me how much he loves my dogs, and I know that he really does. And that means a lot when I'm away, because it's a lot. You know, you're away and you're already worried about them. And when you don't have to worry, and you know that they're loved and they're having a blast and they're galloping across the fields, and now look at this, getting lessons too, and that's so
mental
good fun.
Exercise.
Yes.
That's what people don't realize, is just because your dog's running around doesn't mean he's mentally exhausting himself.
Well, I'm so proud of them, and I'm so thankful because they've really come a long way, and they're better dogs for it, and they love going there already. They're so happy and excited to go, pleased to see me, but to have just all of that, that's fantastic. So I just want to say thank you so much, and I just want to.
And Neil was a lot of fun having him on the show.
I know. I told him
behind the scenes was even better because he
yeah.
said some things we can't repeat on air that were pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm sure. He's a hoot, and he's such a good friend to me. I'm so grateful. So thank you so much, Ocala Dog Ranch. I can't give you a better personal endorsement or a bigger thank you. And I have another thank you, and that is to my dear friend Olivia Fuller from Crystal Cryo, who took care of my cat and my donkeys and my Minnie while I was gone, and did a fantastic job. And then
your cat is very loud. I called Olivia, and all I heard was meow.
She's probably
the
mad.
whole time.
She's mad because she wanted to go out, and she wasn't allowed to go out while I was gone. And then Kim Smith and Sergio and Betsy, who took care of my Mustang. Thank you all, because being gone for that long when you have a four-legged family to take care of it's a lot, and it's great to know that I can trust people, and
it's nice to have those kind of people. I say that about Sue, my working student, all the time. I'm like, I'm so glad
I love Sue.
So glad I have Sue,
Yeah,
because
she's
there's
amazing.
no better.
Yeah, this is true. So, and thank you to Betsy for putting up with me for 9 days on the road. That's a lot all by itself.
That'd be a lot.
You know? I had several laughing and crying fits, just because, moments of like laughing so hard I cried, and then moments that I told her sad things that made me cry, and she just put up with it all. So, and all the running around at the Derby and early mornings, up at 4 o'clock in the morning at the track, and then.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Oh yeah, it is. It's early. If you want to see the action, you better be there early. You're not going to see it. So, but it's definitely worth it. Thank you again to all sponsors who helped to make it possible for us to bring the Ocala Marion County and surrounding area. Yes, and Lip Chip.
Go Lip Chip.
Yeah, go Lip Chip. Lip Chip was actually the sponsor of the Jock Tales event, and it was so cool to be in there in the Jock Tales event with the whole wall, and I have a photo of it with Lip Chip plastered across it, and I got a great group picture of everybody right under that sign. So I'll share that on social media.
Go Brad.
Yep, you can find us on social media at the Horse Talk Show. I'll make sure I post that. So you can see it, because it was really cool to have Brad visit and have dinner with him and catch up on Lip Chip's adventures. So
I wonder how much I should charge him for that.
A big fee. I think Dancing
Put it on my
Pete should
shirt.
go to the Derby next year.
Oh gosh,
courtesy
we've
of
been
Lip
talking.
Chip.
Yeah,
The cowboy hats can be there, right?
that's right.
That's good. We got to wrap it up for this week. We'll have another great show for you the same time next week. Thanks, Pete, for all you did holding down the fort, whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world or not. Happy horsing around. Till the same time next week.
See ya.